Hey guys, Chandler here, back on my channel Alternate Journey, and this video is a part 2 of my reaction to The Middle Ground, which is a series posted on this channel called Jubilee. Basically, in this episode of The Middle Ground, they have two sides basically discuss about trans topics and everything. So on one side, they have a trans man, a trans woman, and a non-binary individual, and then on the other side, they have three cis women. All come from different backgrounds alike. They all come together. Basically the people announce a topic, and then they discuss about the topic, about their views and stuff like that, their opinions on the issue, and yeah, all these topics within this episode of The Middle Ground is all trans related. Basically, I mainly decided to split this video into two parts because they talk about a lot of different topics, but also there's a lot of different opinions, and I wanted to address each and every one of them and give my own opinion as well and connect it to my life. So yeah, in part 1, the topics discussed was whether or not girls and boys should be raised the same, and also if there were only two genders. In this video, the topics are whether or not trans individuals should use the bathroom of their choice, if gender should not be based on how you feel, and then last but not least, if one of these individuals would support their child if they were trans. I will link down below the timestamps, so if you want to just skip to a certain topic that interests you the most, you can do that. But anyways, I hope you guys enjoy.
I should be allowed to use the bathroom that matches my gender identity.
Yes, bitch. He's like, let's get into it. The woman is back there like, oh shit, that woman. She's like, I don't want to talk about this. She stood back. She's like, I don't want to do this anymore. Can I leave? Because they know that they sound ignorant, so they hold back, and they're like, I know I'm gonna be seen as the bitch here, and it's like, well, because you kind of are. Like, I hate how they realize to some degree that they're ignorant, but then they're just like, oh, but then their excuse is like, oh, they're just too sensitive about the topic. It's like, no, we're here to discuss. We're giving you scientific research. You're just not fucking taking it. Like, what? You're just not listening. You're just going back to your 8th grade biology. Like, what?
I feel this is another one that I feel a little split about. I, on one hand, with all of my heart, have respect for, again, like I said before, whatever you feel you should live, you know? However, with that said, if I had a little girl, and if you're not completely transitioned,
you don't want them to be exposed to that
maybe
soon?
not yet, maybe not yet, that is a right.
Have you thought about what that person might be going through? How scared they probably are that they're being judged as they go in? Before I transitioned, when I was still confused as to what I wanted to do and who I was, and it was really difficult, but I decided to use the women's restroom still because I did not feel safe in the men's restroom. And I knew that I would not be a problem. It takes a lot of courage that people don't understand. It really hurts your psyche.
Like, all you want to do is go to the bathroom. It's a basic human function, so like, why the fuck does it matter? The little girl scenario thing, I understand people's concerns and everything, but you can't tell if someone is fully transitioned. She won't be seeing the dick if the woman still has a dick, you know what I mean? There's stalls, and it's like, the trans woman doesn't want urinals in a woman's bathroom because, like, why would they want that? Like, it would remind them that they have that part if they're not comfortable with that part. Like, some trans women and trans men don't have bottom dysphoria. That's great for them. You don't look at people's bodies in the freaking restroom. People go in, do their business in their stall, wash their hands, and then leave. And, like, I get the whole sexual predator scenario thing, but the thing is, that scenario can happen anywhere at any time with any gender. A cis man can walk into the woman's bathroom at any time. There's not security guards at the front door. It's not like you walk through the door and there's a scanner checking what your biological form is, or like what parts you have. This is no like Harry Potter door we're talking about, that like you say a secret code that only women know and it lets you enter. So it's like, that factor can happen at any time, anywhere, and it fucking does. And that's the sad part, but like, that's just what predators do and shit like that. It's like, you can't just associate that trans women are just men undercover to get into the women's bathroom.
I do agree that you should be able to go where you feel comfortable. However, the line that I would draw is if we were one day to say all bathrooms should be just open for anybody.
To touch on that point, I've been at gyms where it's like a restroom and a locker room and people are changing there. It can be difficult because when the rules start to get so relaxed like that, where a guy that wanted to go in a woman's locker room that wasn't transgender, and then if anybody questioned him, he can just say, I feel like a woman.
That's a very valid
You know,
point.
and that's a concern for me.
It's interesting how we get so hung up on trans folks in bathrooms when it seems like the underlying fear might be that men are predators and that we are afraid of predatory men, either posing as trans women or just in general. Having gender-neutral restrooms, maybe if they're not all the restrooms, but some restrooms that are gender-neutral, would just be good for everybody's safety.
I agree with that too.
There you go. See, once they explained that, they're like, yeah. So they're not really trying to attack trans individuals. They're just afraid that some predators would take advantage of the trans label in order to get into certain bathrooms of their wishing in order to attack certain individuals and stuff.
Gender should not be based on how you feel.
To come and tell me, you know, we're gonna be born and I'm just gonna decide what I'm gonna be. I'm sorry, that's a crock of shit to me. I believe that first, yeah, you're born, you're a woman or a man.
I believe that gender shouldn't be based on feelings because our feelings change a lot. Not everybody's does, I understand that, but a majority of people do as they grow up.
You said the word decide. I did not wait till 18 and decide, I'm gonna be a man today. Everything in my power, I did not actually want to be transgender. The decision that I made was being authentically me, to be happy. That's, to me, it was be happy or eventually commit suicide.
The thing about gender is you don't choose your gender. Your gender is something that develops over time. It's very fluid. There's no denying that. I mean, I was born male.
Right.
No denying. But, you know, my government papers all say female because that's who I am.
One thing that I want to know, were you raised in like a conservative household? Did any of you have the ability to actually sit down and talk to your parents and like ask any questions?
I didn't start transitioning until I was 32. I didn't come out to my dad until I was 33. And that, I come from a very conservative family, but I didn't want to lose my dad.
A lot of people just think that, like, you were born in, like, a very, like, hippie household and that, like, oh, you can be whatever you want, and they feel like that's very toxic on the human mind. But it's like, being open-minded is really good and healthy and stuff. And it's just like, a lot of people don't understand that, like, yes, a lot of trans individuals and people within the LGBTQ plus community in itself was actually raised in very religious homes and, like, conservative homes and everything. And it's just like, it just proves it even more that, like, you are not what you just, like, grew up by surrounding-wise. Like, yes, it does, like, have an impact of, like, your personalities and, like, and certain traits of yourself, but that does not, like, it just really proves that, like, we are just scientifically trans. Like, it's just what it is. It's like our brain was born a certain way and our body was born a different way and everything, like, in utero. But the thing is, it's just, like, that just proves that even more. Because, like, if you were born in a religious household and, like, a conservative household, then you wouldn't, then, like, you would think, like, oh, they would be normal or traditional. And it's just, like, in a lot of cases, that's not the case, you know?
When you think you might lose something that you love, it's really hard to go forward and make that decision.
It just sucks, like, that fear of losing someone that's important to you. So, like, you would rather suffer than see you in a different way. And it's just, and, like, lose them. Like, that just honestly sucks. Like, I think that's one of the hardest parts. Like, dysphoria, yes, that's a bitch. Like, it's such a bitch. But it's just, like, sometimes we would rather suffer than watch other people somewhat suffer. Because in the end, it's weird how people make it about themselves in a certain sense. Or they're like, oh, what should I have done? Like, how, like, was I a bad parent? Did I not teach them, like, certain things right and shit? And it's just, like, don't make it about you when someone comes out to you. This is a very emotional, very personal thing that they're telling you, and it's just like they're very vulnerable in that state of mind when they're telling you shit, and it's just like, don't make it about yourself. Just, you know, sit back, analyze things, but also just like, they're still the same person. Like, I don't understand how you can just randomly flip a switch and just be like, no. Like, it's weird and hard to talk about, honestly.
I would support my child if they were trans.
One that's born on this earth is special, and we're all lucky to be alive and be on this planet and have the opportunity to experience our lives and experience love. And I'm not going to be influencing them and saying, no, this is the right way of living, you have to live this way, but I'm gonna say you need to carefully consider, really think about it, and think about the social implications as well, and everything that you're gonna have to face if you go through that. Is it worth it for you?
What? Okay. Okay, I get what she's coming from. She's like, okay, you're gonna experience like a lot of pain, experience a lot of people judging you and stuff and everything before you actually like fully transition or whatever your transition journey is, because like you don't have to fully transition in order to be trans. Like you can do whatever transition you want, whether it's just hormones, socially transitioning, or going the full 9 yards. I don't care what you do. No one cares what you do. It's your body, your right, your journey. Do you. I get what she's trying to say, but it's very still like a toxic thing. It's like kind of like, it's like that very protective parent that's like, I'm trying to protect you from all these negative people that's gonna hurt you. But in reality, what you're doing is you're being your child's first bully. And that's like the worst bully of all. Like, yes, people can hurt us and everything like that, but when your own parent that literally brought you into this world, and then like literally when you're in their stomach or whatever, or like whatever the scenario is of how you came into the life, they're like, yeah, I don't care if it's a boy or a girl, like I'm gonna love them, they're my child, blah 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 blah. But then you have this problem when they're like, I'm not a girl, and then they're like, I'm trans and everything. Like, why is it suddenly a problem? Like, you literally said, I don't care if I have a daughter or a son, so therefore, like, why do you care if your child transitions? Like, you're supposed to love your child unconditionally and stuff like that, and it's just like, I get trying to protect them, but it's like, don't become your child's first bully thinking that you're protecting them. Because you're not. And yes, transitioning is so fucking worth it to me. Like, yes, there was a long period of time where it's like I didn't pass and everything like that, but like I was like, you know, I'm gonna be on T soon, I can do this. And like once I started T, like I was so excited, and like yes, there was still moments of like extreme dysphoria and extreme discomfort just being within society, but it's like you just keep on pushing through. And yes, all that pain and suffering, I can tell you 100%, it was fucking worth it. I would go through everything that I went through again in order to be the state where I am right now. Like, I don't even have to think about it. Like, literally, like, yes, I thought so much about it, I did so much research before I actually transitioned, because, like, that's what trans individuals do, because they want to know all the side effects and everything like that. There's no other choice for me. You know, this is my life, this is what I have to do to be who I am. Yes, in the lame sense, if we're really wishing for things and stuff, I would just wish I was cis, whether that was cis female or cis male, because I wouldn't know what dysphoria was. But I would go through everything again to be where I am today, because I'm actually happy with myself. Yes, I'm dealing with insurance right now in order to get top surgery and shit, but it's just like I'm just one step closer to being even happier in my life. And it's just being happier with myself. It's not even with life in a whole, it's just being happy with myself. Because like I am stealth now, like I passed to the public. So this is literally just to help me. It's not to trick anybody and everything like that, and this isn't a magic trick. This is literally just to help me in order to be able to live with myself and everything within this life. So
I feel like support and acceptance are different things. So if it wasn't something I agree with, would I love them? Would I be there for them? Would I support them? Would I have the conversations? Yes. Would I say I agree with you? No.
See, I grew up with the acceptance part, and that hurt kind of more for me. I felt like she was only accepting me because she gave birth to me. Right. But if she didn't give birth to me, it's like, no, you wait, yeah. And I didn't like that feeling.
You know, if I had grown up in a place where I felt loved and accepted unconditionally, I think that I would have saved myself a lot of therapy and a lot of self-work. But, you know, maybe we don't know for certain yet. And the best we can do, I think, is keep trying.
I think that even with this discussion, it drives the point home about how important family is, how important love is, how important it is to really support. No matter how you feel or how you're raised, like, this world can really break you down. So that's why for me, like, family is so important. And I think it's a beautiful thing, and I think that we should be doing a better job in raising our children and loving on them.
Bring it in. Hi, guys. You ladies are amazing. You guys are awesome.
Okay, so that was a good ending and stuff, but like, to track back what she was saying, that's not acceptance, that's just tolerance. Like, I hate tolerance. Don't tolerate me. I want your acceptance, but like, I'm not gonna force you to accept me. Like, I hate tolerance. Like, I'd rather you hate me. Like, I hate that. It's like, I love you because you're my child, therefore like that's not acceptance of them being trans. You're just literally accepting them. You're just tolerating, like, literally you're just tolerating them because you gave birth to them, and it's like, oh, well, it's your child, so you're taught that, like, oh, I'm supposed to love them unconditionally. Which, yes, and everything like that. Like, you brought them into this world, they didn't ask for this and everything, and it's just like, yeah, but it's like, that's not acceptance, that's tolerance, and I hate tolerance so much. Because, like, if you want to accept another trans individual that wasn't related to you or whatever, then it's like, I don't want you to accept me then. Like, that goes to any family member out there that watch. Like, I know some family members watch my videos, some people from my high school watch my videos and shit like that. Like, don't tolerate me. If you just tolerate me, just stop watching my videos. I don't, no. Like, if you don't accept all trans individuals, then you do not accept me. And that's just the final line. Like, I hate tolerance so much. It's like a slap in the face. It's like literally saying, like, oh, well, he's a good one. It's like, what the fuck is a good one of a group? Like, what? No. Just because you know me and my personalities just show that, like, trans people exist. We're not, like, weird creatures and everything like that. And it's like, I'm not faking it or anything like that. And it's just like, this is just who I am. So, therefore, like, if you can accept one person that's being trans, why don't you accept all people being trans? Like, there's no definitive, like, transition point that people have to do for being trans too and everything. So, I don't know. Anyways, that was a good video and everything. Final thoughts is just like, I hate how they call them traditionals. That really bugged me for some reason, because it's like, there is no traditional form. There is no, like, I guess there's, like, people coin as traditional families, but it's like, people, like, why do we always have to, like, label things as, like, traditional? Because, like, when you label something traditional, it's kind of like it's kind of defined as, like, what people aim for, is, like, what is right, and it's like, there is no right way to live your life. As long as, like, you're not hurting anybody and stuff like that, then it's like, do you. Don't question anything that comes natural to you. Yes, there are tomboys, there are feminine boys and stuff like that in this world. We are all born with masculine and feminine energies, and just because you were born on one side of the spectrum and, like, you like things from the other side of the spectrum does not mean that you have to question your identity at all. It's just a certain characteristics that you like. Literally, we're all born with the same energies and characteristics. It's just we pick, like, which ones that we actually, like, connect with and everything like that. It's just society as a whole that really defined what characteristics and personalities matched with whatever sex. And it's like, that's how these stereotypes developed. When in reality, like, we were just all born with our own mindset and our own characteristics that we just, like, we're very diverse in, like, what we like. And biology is so much more than just chromosomes, and there are actually more chromosomes than the 2 sets that we learned back in high school or whatever. Like, I just think that people just really need to do their research, and it's not even that hard. It's not even, like, a detailed research that you have to do. There's so much scientific proof out there now about trans individuals and stuff, and it's just like, just do your research. You don't even have to do research. Just be open-minded. Honestly, like, it doesn't really hurt you that a person is trans. I guarantee you that you met someone that was trans without even knowing. So, yeah. That's all I'm saying today. I hope you guys like this video. So yeah, please like, comment, and subscribe if you are new. Tell me what I should react to next down below, and I hope you guys have a great day. Anyways, I make videos whenever I can, but you can always expect important updates on my transition. Alright, see you guys.